I can tell you that they will be visiting when they are of your age, your country, do the same thing which you are doing in India today. It is going to be a reverse process. You will be sitting now yoga in South Africa. It is a reverse process. It's like, I am a bit sarcastic, but basically it means that span of attention is very good. It's very difficult to teach Royal University student, but I can tell you I enjoy teaching in South Africa. The thing is this, you see, I will be wondering now why they are sitting with these toilet papers. The intention is very, that pragmatic, that we are going to cultivate mushrooms on these tissue paper rolls. Yeah, very simple technique. So you see, the importance is this, that this specimen which you are examining in lab, it could have been disposed of, and we would have lost some ecological aspects, biological aspects, and mycological aspects. Now, since this gentleman has come to our laboratory here and you are all doing mushroom biotechnology, we can see now that driftwood, which is deposited by river currents on Keri beach, carries the mycelium inside. Without mycelium, can you see, would there be a mushroom? No. So basically there are two possibilities. Number one, this driftwood is deposited by tidal action, wave action, and it has origin on ocean. Number one. Now how do we prove it? There is one simple technique to estimate the salt content of the wood as a marker. If the wood has a certain sodium chloride content, then it is oceanic. If it has no, then it has come from freshwater currents. So if we will examine, all that you have to do is take a piece of wood and just shake it in the water, and if you evaporate that water on a slide and if you get sodium chloride crystals, that means the wood is impregnated with sodium chloride. Understood? That means it has been deposited by ocean currents from some unknown destination. And then, see, the most important part, this is a lignicolous species of Basidiomycetes, what you are observing. And we would have missed the opportunity because it's like this. There are very few marine Basidiomycetes, point number one. Many of these are found only in the asexual stage. Point number two, means you will never see their teleomorph. So you write down whether what you are watching is a teleomorph of a marine Basidiomycetes. That is our hypothesis, number one. Is that clear? Whether it is a teleomorph of a unidentified marine Basidiomycetes, which is always found 90% of the time in asexual form inside the substrate, whatever wood or whatever. Second, there are many known. Second is, it is not a marine Basidiomycetes, and it is a terrestrial Basidiomycetes. But the problem is, it is a terrestrial Basidiomycetes which has grown under extreme conditions. And I believe that I am now, both hypotheses, I am more towards the hypothesis of driftwood deposited by river currents from interior forest areas of Maharashtra or whatever and landed on Keri beach. And I don't know, because this is all mystery for me, that whether you picked up the wood when the mushroom was growing on that, or whether you picked the wood because you found that it was already in this, and then it was still growing. When it was a baby mushroom when you found it and it started growing.
I saw it growing from when it was small.
First it was nothing.
First it was nothing.
I didn't notice it.
And then I noticed a little tiny.
Okay, so you can please record that the mushroom was growing after deposition on the sand. Means in presence of the people. Means it was a terrestrial teleomorphic development. It had nothing to do with ocean. It was nothing to do with sand. It merely had to do that. Most important is the wood picked up moisture. See, for mycelium in the wood to grow, impregnated mycelium in the wood to grow, you need to have certain water activity. You can see how colonization takes place on paint films and all. If they are completely dry, no fungus. If there is little, seepage or waterproofing problem, you will see fungal growth on paint films. It is the whole, this one is the moisture content. So the wood, when he saw it, had a little moisture content and that was sufficient to complete its heliomorphic stage and discharge the spores. Now, after post-discharge of the spores, the heliomorph is showing now what is known as a desiccated stage, means which remains in nature for a long time unless it is, that attacked by some other organisms. We don't know what are the enemies of these mushrooms. Whether they are consumed by slugs, snails and all, we don't know. But it will become hard, like you have seen other bacteriomycetes you have brought, like Poultria you have brought in kept in like Poultria. Somebody controller you have, something is there in trade today I found from village food. So those specimens which you have seen, Gallioderma and all, every year they dry, then revive, dry and revive. So it may be a reviving, drying type of heliomorph. So marine, if it is marine, well and good, we have found now that there is a definite anamorph heliomorph connection. Now two things you have to do. You have to take cross section of the small piece of wood and put it in congorate and try to see thin section of wood whether there is a basal mycelium below this one, which will stain red. So it will show you that there is the whole wood has got impregnated with mycelium. Secondly, you have to take a small piece of, you don't have whole glass, doesn't have to cut the mushroom and make it be destroyed. One small gel piece you have to mount in plain leptopinol, no stain, which will give you basilospores, cystidia and basidial apparatus, which will be able to key to Venus species, genus. Is that clear? So finally, your goals are following. What is the real source of this wood and the mushroom? Number two, what is the origin in terms of terrestrial or marine habitat? Thirdly, what is the identification taxonomy on basis of macromorphological and microscopic? Now macromorphological, each one of you can describe. Like they gave the ontogeny of the species, means how it is says that it was earlier not funnel shaped, but it became elongated later and developed a long stripe. I don't know whether it means that development of long stripe took place when you carried to your place, or it was there on the beach and you were every day going there and worshipping and watching it like some religious object. You brought it home, you kept it in a secluded. So it was like it was lifted and kept in the house. It grew there. So in a protected condition, without any fresh infusion of rain, it didn't irrigate it, it didn't dip it in bucket and water and that. So remember one thing, that if you look very carefully at the, bring that specimen here. There is something very well known about such specimens. They tend to be, you write down, there is the basidiomycetes which is called the wonder of the world, called Secula lacrimans. It is called dry rot. You can't believe it is a fungus because it is so dry, but still it is a fungus. And you wonder, almost zero water activity. It needs very little of water to do. So I believe, if you see, there is very little because this wood is almost dry. I don't feel any moisture here. It is like bone dry. And the fungus is still intact here. I can see the fungus. So it is one of the extremophilic form of mushroom. Extremotolerant. Means it can withstand desiccation, drying the mycelium inside. So that means both hypotheses are possible. It could be marine as well as it could be terrestrial. But it's very difficult to believe that terrestrial form deposited on the sand and then growing in presence of moisture could give rise to it. There could be a cycle where logs from interior areas will be carried out to the ocean. And if it is August, you see this, which day do you remember when you got this specimen? How many days?
It must have been about a week before Ganpati.
In September or August? August. So in August it is very common that we get also the African tidal this one with driftwood and all to Indian coast because of the upwelling of the ocean. So I can't just decide whether this has come from Somalia or any of these countries which are almost on the same latitude. It is known, all these things, but it takes a certain amount of time. Like the monsoon begins, monsoon circulation in northern Arabian Sea stop at microscopic examination and we will declare that this particular specimen which has been growing on this is a extremophilic but known species, not a novel species. What we can say that this is, we have just now seen that famous species it is. He also saw, I showed him on the internet. It is well famous, right? It's not ludicrous. You are supposed to find out the specimen. So within penis you try to zero down on that. Within penis. Okay? Anything else better? Penis. So this is season. Same it is, famous.
And will this eventually go brown?
Yes, correct. So this is season, so it could be similar type of food also.
This is being subject to more moisture.
No, they are different species but closely related. So this is also a coincidence that she has got cheese around 60 kilometers from where this food has been found. So I mean, it's possible that this year because of heavy rainfall also that these species are being produced in large number of diversity. So you please proceed with your this. They are gifting us this. So let me take a photograph while you are gifting.